procurement union within Kerry County Council was set up in 2001. Okay, talking about the LA Codes project, okay, you probably look at this diagram, okay, and say, what is this about, okay? We have, on the LA Codes project, we have over 4,000 suppliers who are actually registered. With those 4,000 suppliers, okay, what would happen in the prior to LA Codes, okay, each supplier was dealing with each local authority. So if we take the 34 local authorities, we would have a number of suppliers which would actually deal with all of those local authorities. So the annual quotation process, basically what that is instead of actually getting prices every single day, we get prices which are fixed for a year for things like planter, which might be an hour rate or a day rate or whatever the case may be. Now, local authorities can actually send out packs which are hard copies of all these different types of forms to the suppliers, okay, who they use to procure from. So you may have a supplier who actually dealt with 34 different local authorities, and they were receiving 34 different information packs, okay. Now some of these forms, okay, were, up to 12, 13, 14 pages in length, and the supplier might only have to, be quoting 2 or 3 items on it. But the still meant that they had to go through all the forms, looking for all the different products. And some of these forms you'd have to ask questions about as well. Some forms were quotations for things like paint and stuff like that. And what we did was we looked at all of those forms and we said, look, do local authorities buy all of these products? And if so, how much do we spend on them? So things like paint, okay, having a form and having suppliers actually quote to provide for paint, like everybody here knows there's so many different colours and shades within paint. And then when we looked at our figures and we looked at a few local authorities, roughly how much we were spending on paint. We were spending maybe 400 to 500 euros. So we were spending weeks trying to gather this information. So the cost of actually getting quotations for some of these commodities was pointless really, because the amount of money we were actually spending. So basically what the suppliers used to do is they fill in their forms, okay, they post them back to the local authorities, and all of the different local authorities have different deadlines. So from the supplier's point of view, you have all these 34 different packs. Some of them have a close date in September, some are October, November, December. You used to fill in the same information, and all the forms are different as well. Send them back to the local authority. The local authorities would actually get the information. They keep this information into a database, and then they print off a book with all the quotations. So it wasn't very user-friendly. So this process was taking about 6 months of the year within the local authorities. So it's very, very time-consuming, very frustrating for suppliers. And, the information was very difficult to actually find prices because it was in a hard copy as well. So when we looked at this process, we first looked at it for Kerry County Council and said there has to be an easier way. And we had 4 resources. First of all, sending out letters to suppliers, then getting the information back in, and then actually entering this information into a database. And we said, there has to be a better way of doing it. So that's how LA Codes came about. And what we have is we have all our suppliers feeding into one database, and then all the local authorities basically linking off that. Now, how it actually works is it's very, very simple. Basically, it's like an online catalogue for each of these commodities for the planter, tuber, supplies and services. Now, there are still thousands of products which are actually on this website, okay? It was something we looked at first of all for Kerry County Council, where we actually designed the system so that our suppliers in Kerry, okay, we sent them letters, instead of sending them all the forms, what we did was we put the forms and the information online, and we obviously didn't take the existing forms. We looked at the forms, we looked